So anyway, as I was saying, my mom just took home our friend a walkie because he didn't get poo-poo in just in the yard. The other day when I came back, but you know my mom, she doesn't always. She says to me, I thought she said that she had a dentist appointment, and I'm like, yeah, okay, so what? No, I have a dentist appointment. You know, I'm like, how would I have known that? She's like, I told you. No, you really didn't. You told me, like, when you're, like, in bed or through the door, you know, something that important, you need to tell me face to face. By the way, your dentist called, Laura, and you have a dentist appointment on X day. No, it's like, it's easy for me to assume she's telling me she has a dentist appointment. And I remember she tells me, and I'm like, yeah, okay, so what, you know? And it's on a day when she always has her dentist appointment, you know what I mean? So, no, I have a fucking dentist appointment. Jesus, Mom. Luckily, I said something to her. I probably would have missed it. She probably wouldn't even have... No, she might have told me again. What time do you want me to get you up or something for your dentist? I'm like, and then I would have been like, huh? What? What? I have a dentist appointment? Huh? Anyway, my life's not miserable. My life is in limbo. Miserable was when I was living with Donald and Hope all those years. Or just with Donald. That was miserable. Because as any person in an abusive relationship, I'll say person because men can be in abusive relationships as well. You're already unhappy, and then you already hate yourself, or you already have such low self-esteem, and then you have another human being just constantly reinforcing those feelings you already feel. Okay, I dealt with it in high school with my dad, and then I later dealt with it in my 30s and 40s with Donald. Okay, and to a lesser extent his mom. But he didn't treat her good, so she's all fucked up, and she was good to me in a lot of ways, too. But that fucks you up when someone goes back and forth like that. At least Donald was consistently an asshole. My father went back and forth. Donald was just an asshole. Even when he wasn't being an asshole, he was still an asshole. It was right there under the surface. That's how my dad was, too, so... But Hope was just, you know, I don't know. I know she didn't like getting older, too, and like I said, she was stunning when she was younger. And she was one of those, I'm sure she was still stunning, you know, in her 40s and 50s, but, you know, when I knew her, she was in her 60s, and then at the end she was in her 70s, and you know, she wasn't happy about it. One time we're at JCPenney, and she's like, what does she want from me, you know? She's lived her life. She's 30 years older than me. You know, it's like, and she's like, she said something like, when I was trying on clothes, like, you still look good, and you know, something like, you're still attractive, and you still turn men on, or you still... Whatever she said was ridiculous, because she's in her 70s, you know what I mean? I'm not the same as you, Hope. I'm 29 years younger than you. You're trying to lump us together, you're trying to whatever, you know, you've lived your friggin' life. I didn't like that. I told you another time, she says, I'm on my way out and you and Donald are almost there. Fuck you, you and Donald are almost there. Maybe Donald, not me. I look at least 10 years younger than I am, and I act even younger than that. I am not even remotely what you're saying, Hope. She just pissed me off at the end. She was frustrated with her life. She didn't like getting older, and that's the way it goes. She lived her life, you know, and she lived a good life. So, you know, no, I am not, you know, And I'm also not just lying around watching TV, eating bonbons. You know, I always say shit like that. It's a joke. It's a joke because that's what, you know, Peggy Bundy would do, lie around. And she wasn't obese. She was a little chunky. Just a little bit. But, you know what I mean? My life's not miserable. My life is in limbo. Waiting for whatever, waiting for answers that never manifest themselves, waiting for whatever, you know? I was just thinking about all my boxes of stuff. Charlie, I have the back and forth emails from him. You know, he'd periodically go to my website and listen to my songs and hear my poetry and this, that, whatever. And he compared me to I don't know her name, Amy something, the lead singer of Evanescence. And of course, me, I'm like, oh please. I actually like Bring Me to Life, you know that song, but I was like, I can't sing like her. I'm not anything. I can't. And he's like, it's your I'm sure I have it written. I'm sure he wrote it to me in emails, and I told you I have the back and forth emails somewhere in those boxes out there. He's like, it's not your, it's, because obviously I can't even remotely sing like her or whatever. No. He's compared my persona or my aura or my whatever. He compared it to her. He wrote it. I'm sure I have it. It says you're like you remind me of the lead singer of you remind me of. He said the name. He loves her. You remind me of whatever her name is. That the one Evanescence that sings "Bring Me to Life." And that was sweet. But Charlie was. We never met in person. He was quite enamored of me. He was quite in awe. He even wrote on my guest book, I think this is a situation where I'll be able to say I knew her before she became famous. Yeah, right. And that was 7 years ago. He knew people in the business. He told me they liked my website and whatnot. He sent some of the people in the business to my website, but they didn't, call me up and say, I want to make you a star. They didn't, but they weren't like assholes about it either. I think a couple of them might have posted stuff on my website. Charlie sent me to your website. It's really cool, blah, 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 whatever. I don't know. That might have been just one of his friends. But he did. He tried to help me. It just didn't work out. Nothing ever works out for me. But he did try. He was impressed with me. And I did what he said I could do. He didn't care how heavy I was. He knew how heavy I was. And he's like, because I sent him current pictures. He was like, I don't care how heavy you are, you can lose the weight. And I did lose the weight. But that's my own personal thing. I just prefer being thin. I just prefer it. It's my personal thing. I prefer it. And I actually I would like to lose like 20 pounds. Like I said, I'd like to be even thinner than I am now. So no, whoever you are, I don't remember your name because you're brand new to my channel. Some people just don't ever post comments, so they're not actually new to my channel. They just never posted comments and then suddenly started to. I don't know. But regardless, he's new to me. I think he's new to my channel. He says, I want to make you happy. I just want to pluck you and make you from your miserable life. Again, my life's not miserable. It's in limbo. I think that's the best word I could use to describe it. It's in limbo, constantly waiting for something. Remember, my obsession with why we're here didn't start yesterday. It didn't start 14 years ago when I was saying it periodically out on Alicia's World, and I even wrote a poem, a very short poem. Why are we even here? Why can't anybody else see what I see so clear? Wherever they're coming from makes me want to run and run and run. Okay? I think I wrote that in I don't know if I wrote it in college, but I'm just saying, these things with me were, I was the same in high school. And that's part and parcel why I never fit in, never belonged, never whatever. I'm not normal. I had these same fucking thoughts, these same everything, but all the way back then. I'm sure it goes back even farther. I'm sure it does. Back to even when I was a kid, okay? It's always been this way. It's nothing new. I really don't know what it's like to be like happy-go-lucky or whatever. I definitely was not a happy-go-lucky kid. He was. He might have, but he also, like I said, he had siblings. He might have, grown up poor like me and whatever, but he had siblings and he was a guy, so he did a lot of roughhousing. He got into trouble. He apparently never even graduated from high school. I was a sweet little girl, sweet, okay? Oh, calling something, saying, oh, it's cool you didn't lose your virginity till you were 26. I was almost 26. Yeah, I was just what you call a technical virgin. I did everything with my black college boyfriend. He just didn't want to seal the deal, okay, for whatever reason. Who knows? People, He didn't want to be my first. He wanted to give me to Eric, who was the opposite of him. He was the typical that I used to make out with and stuff, that I met at the fast food restaurant I was working at over the summer when I got back to school after I dropped out for 8 months because I couldn't pay for it, and Dad and Diana got married and I wasn't going to get financial aid anymore, and etc. Okay? Yeah, Roland would say, he'd say, I want to give you to Eric, and then you could come back to me. Let Eric take your virginity. Eric's not my boyfriend. I don't want Eric taking my virginity, okay? Eric wants that. Oh, definitely. Eric knew I was a virgin. He turned on me in the end. Like most people turn on me. I shouldn't say that, but, I was this way even as a kid. And that's where a lot of my problems derive from. You know what I mean? I didn't have siblings either. So that doesn't, my cousin, out-of-state cousins, the one I hadn't seen in 20 years, whatever, they went through different shit. They went through a lot of shit, okay? Even Auntie said when we were in the courthouse parking lot, she's like, we were talking about, well, you think you had it bad, you think your father was bad. Their father was like evil personified. I'm elaborating. I'm just like, okay, but they had each other. They had each other, more than one. It's different when you are an only child. It's very, very different, people. It's very, very different. I bet I would have turned out differently had I been able to live for my high school years with my cousins and their perfect little family. Because I was blossoming, even just living with them for those 5 months. I dropped 20 pounds of baby fat. I think it would have been different for me. But it wasn't in the cards. It was in the cards for me to go and live with my father and be abused for 4 years. So, I mopped the kitchen floor last night. I scrubbed some spots on my hands and knees, but I'm still not done. I mopped the kitchen floor. Remember I said I'm going to return those. I can get away with it. You want to know why? I can go to 2 different Best Buys. I can get away with it anyway if I really wanted to have chutzpah, but I'm not gonna. Because I bought them on different occasions, those camera members. I have different receipts. I have 2 different receipts. I can go to 1 Best Buy. And one of them's not even open. You know what I mean? So if I don't return them all at the same Best Buy with different receipts, then it won't look so bad. It's like one's opened, one's not. Yeah. Anything wrong with these? I don't know. I just don't want them. I'll just make up some shit and then I'll get $15 that I need. And in the end, it'll be more than $15 because there's a few of them I need to return. So I have a whole bunch of different things I need to return. Now I have to go to the dentist. And I'm due for X-rays. So that's gonna be a couple $100. Oh well, Guts to go to the dentist. If I ever had money, in another lifetime or something, I would get porcelain veneers. I like the actresses and models and all that with the white teeth. I think most of them don't get that white teeth from whitening. Maybe some do. But whitening, porcelain veneers at least, I don't know. I don't know how good, whitening's not good for your teeth. I bought that whole Colgate system for my dentist and then I never even used it. But I bought the whole Colgate system and then shortly after that went and stayed with Joe for those 3+ months. That asshole saying, Joe doesn't really care about you. Yes, he does. If he really cared, he'd let you go back into that shelter. If he was a real friend, he would have let you come live with him. No. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to. He let me stay with him a little over 3 months. I'm not going to go back there, okay? And speaking of the shelter, when I went in 2012, like I said, I was... Of course, I'm not going to be happy about it, but, I mean, at least I was free of Donald and Hope, so I could find bits of happiness there and there, okay? But that second time I had to go, after Bobby and his landlord had fucked me over, and my mom wanted me here, and Auntie wouldn't let me be here, and my mom wasn't happy about that, because she later wrote that letter to my cousin, and one of the things she said is that Auntie made me go into the shelter, okay? I was not happy then, let me tell you. That was not... I made the best of it, but I was not happy. Remember, I had money now. Okay? I was getting my $1,000 a month, and I had money in the bank, and I'm back in the fucking shelter. Are you fucking kidding me? I made the best of it. That's when I met that woman we were supposed to go around on Halloween and sing the Monster Mash. And then she went MIA. She disappeared. I don't know what happened to her. She's not even friends with the other one anymore. So the other one, I still care about her. I mean, I want her to get out of the shelter. I want her to whatever, but, I was all caught up in my court shit, all caught up in my own shit, you know, it's like, no, it's not very easy to be friends with someone who's in a homeless shelter when you're not in a homeless shelter. It's kind of, I'm sure it happens, but not very often. You know what I mean? But I still care about her. You know what I mean? If I ever see anybody from that shelter, I mean, if it wasn't someone who treated me like shit, you know, I still smile, still say hi, still whatever, you know. And as for my friend, remember when I went back into that shelter, someone in there was saying, so-and-so still misses you. That's referring to the black woman who I thought was going to be my friend for life, honestly. She misses you. She wants me to give you, I saw her, she wants me to give you her phone number. No, I'm not going there. This is when I was in the middle of all that stuff, too, remember? Not the elder abuse stuff, that came later, but this was when I was back in that shelter, and then, you know, but I wouldn't have, my former friend wasn't in the shelter, but someone in the shelter, a woman in the shelter had seen her and bumped into her, and she was one of those people that, whatever, probably they started talking, and she, who knows, doesn't matter. What matters is my gut instinct, backed by Joe's wisdom. Remember, Joe was way more wise, has much more wisdom than I could ever hope to have, okay? Is to stay away from her. He even said, you know, about the money. He's like, well, think of it as you bought like $1,000 worth of friendship, yeah. I genuinely cared about her. I genuinely cared about her, and even now I hope she's okay. I hope her family's okay. I don't wish her any ill will. Honestly, I don't. I know, and he'll sit here. I'm not like that, though. You guys know I'm not like that. I don't say, oh, she's such a bitch. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Just because I can't be friends with her, I don't wish her any ill will. No, the opposite's probably true. She probably did. I mean, in the end, she was like, let me get you in on a little secret, Laura. I am not fucked up like you. Okay. But you told me outright that somebody who had insulted you in your family, someone, a cousin or whatever, or a cousin or you said outright, and you meant it, if that person who had insulted you was sitting there right there with you, you would have killed them. And I said to you, but you have family, you have people who care if you go to jail. I didn't care. Okay? If that's not fucked up, I mean, you know, her saying she's not fucked up is let me in on a little secret, Laura. I'm not fucked up like you are. And, you know, she showed her true colors because she didn't like me ending the friendship. If anyone was going to end it, it was going to be her and her. I genuinely cared about her. Same with my cousin who in the end fucked me over. And I don't wish him any ill will. My cousin, after everything, sent my mother a fucking card. A Christmas card. Auntie whipped it up. But she ripped it up. She didn't hide it from my mom. I talked to Auntie later, remember, when you had to join forces to save my mother. No, she ripped it up, but my mom didn't want it. She didn't hide it from my mom. Will she send stuff again this year? Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me, people. Wouldn't surprise me.